What's up? Create Studios podcast with the comedian Angel JIN in the building. Thank you for coming out today.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's great to have you, man. I met you at the function. Met through Instagram. Saw your Instagram. Saw that you're in the Bay Area Community Network, right? You're a Baconator. And I respect the girl because she is a Harvard graduate. I think we're the only Harvard graduate ever on the podcast, and I think that's fascinating that you're from an Ivy League school. Thanks for coming on the pod. How you doing?
Doing good. First time out here.
A little closer, sorry.
Oh, yeah, doing good. First time out here. Very excited to be on the show.
You can bring it to you, stuff like move it around, whatever
Cool.
you do feel comfortable. You're tall, man, in that chair, you know?
Yeah, I try to intimidate men as much as I can.
I bet you do. Being a San Francisco Asian, you know what I mean? Like, they're intimidating. They're a little different.
Yeah, I was a little nervous about how many Asians there were here. Because
you're from Boston.
Yeah, I'm from Boston. So, like, you know, when you go to school and you scope out your competition in math class or whatever, and then I got off the plane and it was like, there are too many. We have to send some back.
Yo, that was very Asian what you said. Do Asians actually do that? Because I don't do that. Like, but do Asians be like,
I feel like
that girl's smart. I should hook up with her.
No, I think out here people are a lot more collaborative and supportive in the Asian community.
Right.
Back east, it's less so.
Well, I hear Boston is a very segregated place to be. The whites are here and the Irish are, well, not even the whites. It's like the Irish are here and the Italians are here and the black spectrum is like way over here. And then, you know. Oh,
yeah. I lived with a ton of Irish people on my street, but I didn't date any Irish guys until I moved out here.
Well, I would figure the white people in San Francisco are probably a lot cooler than the ones in Boston, but I don't know. Like, tell me that perspective, or
yeah,
what it is, or
I actually appreciate that. I mean, there's a line, obviously, but I appreciate that people have like dumpling recommendations and like
white people. You mean? Or?
Yeah, like
okay, yeah, because they're embodied in the culture.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah, yeah. Well, San Francisco's very Asian friendly to me. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Especially with people that aren't Asian. And it's like you get white people that... Because every time white people know about, like, kimchi or something, I'm like, whoa, you know about kimchi? And
yeah.
I guess in this generation, it's a lot more accepted. But when I was coming up, no one knew about kimchi. And smelling it would be wild. But, you know... Yeah,
I went to Yosemite for the first time 2 weeks ago. And they had kimchi in their, like, convenience store.
Yeah, yeah. The very salty, not the very freshest.
I'm sure.
Very preservative. I'm just being honest. Nothing like homemade kimchi. Because like all I know is homemade kimchi, so I don't even eat the store bought stuff. It's insanely salted. It's like,
we used to have Korean neighbors growing up, and my parents were always like, we got to invite them over so they can invite us back for dinner.
Oh, so you're a fan of the Korean cuisine?
Huge fan.
It's good stuff. They got a place out here in Hayward called Sister's House. It's hella good. The tofu soup go crazy. I mean, that's one of the favorites in Korean cuisine is the tofu soup. The galbi.
Yeah, that's my favorite meal too.
The galbi?
Yeah, and tofu soup.
Tofu soup. And it's healthy. Somewhat. Very much so. I think for me, the healthiest Japanese foods that I ever came across, I mean, the healthiest Asian foods that I came across were Japanese. I feel like they eat the healthiest.
I can tell because I don't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, it's not as flavorful. It's not taste. It's no flavor. And my ex, she was depressing. Like, cause they're so serious. Like, I try to crack jokes, and she's just like talking about the guilt of her dad, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, I don't know if you guys ever dated Japanese women before, but they're not. They you know what I mean? Like real native Japanese people, like they're very serious.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like my ex would talk about depression. Not depression, just always carrying guilt from what her family did for her, which is kind of like Korean dramas. It's a lot of guilt. They use a lot of guilt in Korean dramas. I don't know if you watch K-dramas and stuff. But.
No, I think they're too optimistic for me. But,
really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, this has me thinking.
I don't watch enough. I don't know anything about it either. But just what I see is like, oh, they're always using the guilt factor. And it's like, I can't watch this shit.
Yeah. No, I think I feel a good amount of guilt I probably express it a lot too. Yeah, I probably am just like your ex, to be honest.
Asians are very guilt.
Yeah.
Right? Like our friends, like when we keep each other tight, like we use guilt, you know, like, oh, you didn't come, or I came there for you, or, you know, which I like the tight knit group. Did you hang with Asians when you were in Boston, or what was that scene like? Were you just like the Asian girl? Or?
Oh no, I did mostly hang out with Asians growing up, but I feel like it just like naturally happened. It's not like I was seeking them out, right? It was more like white people didn't want to hang out with you.
Really? In Boston, they didn't want to hang out?
Yeah, it was very.
Because out here they do want to hang out.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
But some types.
Absolutely,
right.
But there are some types, which I agree, that want to hang out with non-white people.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I find that cool.
Yeah.
Being here.
Well, they want to seek out the culture and stuff like that, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great. We talked about, you know, you being from Boston, you didn't get a chance to do Boston comedy, but you came from the New York scene. But just looking at the Bay Area, you know, and what do you like about the Bay Area comedy scene, just coming from another region, though, and how the culture blends in with that?
I love the amount of opportunity there is for comics just starting out. So much stage time, cool shows to do. There are so many venues with audiences. Like the first weekend I showed up, I did this show, and the producer was apologizing to me that it was light, and there were maybe like 15 people there.
It's a great show.
I know. I sent a video to my New York friends. They were like, "What?" Like in any random bar, you can get like a crowd of like 50 people.
What is the New York? Well, there's no one in the bar.
Literally, yeah.
New York.
You go. There's 3 people. 2 of them are comics. No one's laughing. It's
at a bar in New York.
Yeah, it's very depressing.
That's wild. Well, you would think it's a populated city, so like all bars would be cracking. I guess there's a lot of bars out there, right?
Yeah, and also there's so much good art there. Like you can go to the Comedy Cellar and see something for $17.50.
Like a headlining act.
Yeah, you could see the best in the world for $17.50 plus 2 drinks.
Right.
Like, why would you go anywhere else?
Right. The Cellar is very famous. A lot of people bring it up.
Yeah.
I think like Jerry Seinfeld and all them been there.
Everybody, yeah.
Okay. Did you go there?
Only to watch. They actually run a class for beginners, and then after you get a graduation show, and you get a tape of yourself with Comedy Cellar in the background. But I never did that.
I never did that either.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any comedy classes? Or?
I did one when I was first starting,
Okay.
and I truly knew nothing about the craft of joke writing, which is interesting because as a comic, especially a female comic, every time I do a show, there's like dudes coming up after being like, "Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian," and they're like all experts.
So they feel emasculated maybe because you're a woman that did it and they're a man and they didn't have the balls to go do it, you think? Maybe?
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like, I do respect that they are truly passionate about it, and in that way I felt like an imposter starting out, where I was like, oh, I wasn't watching this from the time I was 10 or something.
Right.
So I appreciate that they want to express their enthusiasm for me, but it is true that like Uber drivers love telling me about comedy on my way to the show.
That is good.
Yeah.
There's impossible bit finding in that. Right.
Yeah, but you know, I feel like straight men have suffered enough, and I don't know if I want to keep making fun of them. Can't alienate my audience.
Tell us how straight men have suffered. If you can. Like, what did that mean? Like,
Oh, I don't know. I think I want my comedy to bring people together. I mean, a lot of comedy is dividing people, right? Like
For
saying
sure,
something
for
offensive,
sure.
and I do plenty of that in my real life. But I do want people to feel uplifted by it, and yeah, so I don't want to pick on people with easy jokes.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like, just being like, oh, you're fat or something like that? Or,
Well, I think it's easy to hate on men on stage as women. There's just like so endless material that I could riff on, and I am cognizant.
Go for it. We're right there, Angel. Like, do it. Like.
No, I do some of it, but I want people to feel encouraged. Because also, I think it can be counterproductive to be super anti-straight men. You know, like it doesn't help the conversation forward. It doesn't help them move towards the direction that I want them to. So
Yeah, because there's some men bashing going on stage.
yeah.
For sure. The straight man hate movement. Because I just saw some white comics complaining that they couldn't get stage time because they're white men or something like that.
I have heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which just doesn't make any, because there's plenty of stages for white men, but. But talking about how you talked about there is kind of dope how there is that diversity in the Bay Area to where like white men are complaining about getting on stage. Like that's dope because you're an Asian comedian, which hey, because I come from the Pride Rise podcast and all that, and we're very supportive of our AAPI community. So I love the fact that I don't feel like Asian comedians feel like they get hated on out here. Like they actually get kind of promoted.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. That there are shows just for Asian comics is really awesome.
Yeah. And I think with the whole women comedian movement, because it is a movement, there's a lot more women comedians out there now. I definitely feel like they feel like they're boxing, but I don't feel like as a man comic, I think y'all taking over. To be honest, because a lot of the views are going in that direction. You know what I mean? A lot of producers do book. Do you find that though? Like if I could be honest, like that certain comedic producers do book you guys just on the fact that maybe you guys are a female comedian and it's like, is there a creep factor involved in this? Or like, people going to hate on it?
Oh yeah, that always comes up when like someone's super excited about you and you're like, oh, is that because I'm super talented, they're really nice, or they're interested? And it's generally not the first two. No, but like...
That's good, right? So that's just a stigma that's not true then. Or maybe
no,
it is.
I think...
Oh, it is.
I think in the Bay, people are not as creepy. I think I felt in New York that people were way more creepy.
Really?
I think it's here, everyone knows each other. Like, things can't get very far.
Oh, they try, though. Yeah. Can you give us a story?
Like, one can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in New York there's, and to some extent here, or being a woman in general anywhere, there's a delicate balance of like, before they hit on you, that is like the best time because now you're friendly and they're willing to book you. Right. If you get to the point where they have expressed interest and you need to shut them down, then actually, yeah, I used to complain about this a lot in New York, that you've lost someone in your network, really.
When you do that.
You cannot hold on to relationships in your network because each person you turn down is no longer your friend or ally.
Very Harvey Weinstein-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just, some of it isn't like intentional on their part. It's just like, okay, well, she's not interested. What good is keeping her around? Or like, it's awkward to keep her around.
It's really stupid because... and I don't want to say anything offensively or sexist, but like women comedians are the best networkers, man. Because,
really?
Well, yeah. Like I make it a point to tell guys, like that's like the stupidest thing you're doing is like seeing if you can get like if it happens, just let it happen, bro. But like really, you should get with her to be as a friend, not because you're a pussy or anything, but because like everyone's trying to get at her, and she's gonna pick and choose people that like are actually with her. You know what I mean? And being genuine, and then. Through that, when like just in my experience coming from the music business, that's what I did. Like I wasn't really known for being a creep, but I had a lot of beautiful women around me that were just friends, and they gave me everything. Like because they would know I'm not creepy. Like, oh, you need to hook up with Bali because Bali over here, and he's cool. And then all the female come, oh, he's cool, he's not, and then they bless you 10 times harder because they know everyone. I mean, if you're the fat ugly guy, no one wants to talk to you. I'm just sorry. I'm just being honest. Like if you don't have a lot of personality. You don't have a lot to give in terms of network. You know what I mean? And so, like, certain girls, they know everyone because of that factor.
Yeah.
You know?
Huh.
A lot of guys think like that, I know,
that.
but it's like
Yeah.
it's like a way to kind of jump yourself up levels because you know what I mean. It's very 2D. Just it's like it's like bro. I don't know. But anyway, so you talked about the whole Bay Area scene, and there's more people at shows. What is it like? Because, Cat Williams been here, and he toured the Bay Area scene and said that he got to see every variety possible. Like, in your experience from New York to the Bay Area, what are the crowds like? Like, how are they different, or are they the same?
Well, one thing I appreciate is that crowds don't lie anywhere. I mean, granted, if you're like in the middle of nowhere, they laugh a lot more because there's less entertainment. But in general, like a good joke is a good joke, and a bad joke is, they might like be supporting you politely smiling, but they're still not going to laugh. And I appreciate that about comedy. It's just, you know, very black and white in that way.
Right.
But probably people have different like political sensitivities, but insofar as humor goes, I feel like I have very few jokes that like work in New York and don't work here, and vice versa.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a common like humanity, you know, we all...
Humanities hits more here. Or it doesn't, you're saying?
In the sense that I feel like there's something that all humanity shares, and humor is one of those things where it's it really transcends.
You have this world
boundaries.
peace view toward comedy. I like that. Let's hold hands.
I'm trying.
And talk about our bits together.
No, I think that's something I've like.
No, I love
towards.
that because everyone's a different representative toward comedy in another way, right? Like Asian or gay or straight or happy or sad.
It took me some time to work towards that vision because when I started, I kind of felt like you needed to be traumatized or something to be funny.
Yeah, no.
And now I feel like, you know, this is a gift, that like humor and creativity and art is a gift from God that we want to steward well and use it to uplift people. And I don't want to feel limited by the need to tell dark jokes or
you don't. That's so weird. Well, listen, for me, it's like these comedians feel like they have to go dark, and when they're dark, they're real, and when they're clean, they're not. That is a bunch of BS, man. Like, if you're clean, that is incredibly hard to be funny and clean, and that's the honesty in it, because anyone could say like douchebag diaper, and then like that's a funny word, and that's a cheap comedy trick to me, you know, in saying something like that, because I feel like a lot of comedians just say something kind of silly sounding because you don't get to hear it in your workspace, you know. So when you get off and you go to a comedy show, like, oh, you said douchebag or something, it's like that's not really funny though. Like,
I agree.
Like some people hate on clean. Like, I don't know, I'm a Seinfeld fan, but he's really clean. Jim Gaffigan too. Like, not a lot of people are Jim Gaffigan fans. I'm not saying you are, but
I am.
but his comedy writing is stellar, man. It's clean. It's difficult, very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
So you would say your style's more clean?
Yes. It could always be better, but yeah, I've dropped a lot of my dirty jokes that I started with.
That's good, because you can get more corporate gigs and,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like gigs where they're not going to be offended and stuff like that.
I have a little brother, and sometimes my benchmark is like, would I be comfortable if he heard this joke? Yeah.
Right. Because he wouldn't if it was dirty. Well, you didn't think about that, because like the Hawk-Tua girl, you know, what does her family think? You know, do you know about her? You don't know about the Hawk-Tua girl? Oh man, there's like this famous girl who went viral because they were talking about some dirty. It was like a street interview, and then they were like, "So what's something you do in bed to go get a man crazy?" And she's like, "You got a Hawk-Tua on that thing," and then she went viral over that one little clip. And now she has like a show and stuff like that. And she's just and she's getting extremely paid off that one clip. That's crazy. You haven't heard about that. You don't watch a lot of social media, huh? No,
I'm trying not to let it shape me the way it has in the past. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you normally watch, or how do you normally entertain? Or
I feel like I don't have a lot of spare time, like in between comedy, acting, my job, you know, friends.
Right.
But I did rewatch Avatar: The Last Airbender recently. I binged it incredibly fast.
That's cool. So you have your go-to movies, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fairly obsessive person. So when I do find something I like, then I consume that. It's all-consuming.
Right.
And then I try not to consume that much content for that reason.
What type of content do you see yourself consuming a lot?
I don't know that I can answer that. Definitely gravitate towards more lighthearted stuff because life is already really hard. And
Yeah.
Although I will say my Netflix recommendation has been showing me a lot of rom-coms, and they all have like descriptions that are like, when SF woman's life falls apart or something. So Netflix has an idea of what it thinks I'm into.
What is rom-com? Sorry.
Oh, like any romantic comedy film. I actually find
something
them
about Mary. You
Yeah.
don't know about that. You don't know about something about Mary?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, that's funny. Okay, go ahead.
Is it? Okay. Maybe I'll check that out.
You should check that out, dude. Cameron Diaz, Adam Sandler.
Oh.
It's like an old one.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
older, you know what I mean? But it was funny. They cannot redo that today.
As in, like, the characters don't have as much chemistry, or what?
As in, they would get canceled.
Oh, I see.
They would get canceled.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's still really funny. It was hilarious. I mean, if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. And your next date, you should just check it out. Dude, Cameron Diaz was hilarious. You know about Cameron Diaz?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen her in something funny, though.
Dude,
Okay.
that was like, wow. You know, that was cool. I like Cameron Diaz. She's a great actress.
Yeah.
Kind of weird because she was all involved in that, you know, Weinstein stuff. Anyway, so the consuming part. Okay, talk about how the function in SF. I love that venue. I got to see you at that venue. Props to Stroy Moyd, first black owner in SF, and amazing for me to watch in the Bacon Network because I'm seeing a guy who's a comedian, done sketch comedy and stuff on the Instagram, gain popularity through that. Because I kind of knew about him through the music world, not when I was in comedy at all. When I saw his clips going kind of viral, but the venue's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, you wish it was bigger for him, like, you know. But the first night I was there, Maddie May was in town. I don't know if you met Maddie May.
No, I didn't.
That was like his first booked headliner. She's blowing up right now, doing really good. But you were there on the open mic night, which is great because they put 37 comedians on in a night.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. What was your experience there?
I loved it. I felt the way I described it was like going to your parents' house because another comic owned it. Like, you felt like it was your space in some way, and everyone was there. It was just super chill.
It was super chill.
Yeah, I love the decor, and I love that it feels like a comic first space.
It feels like a spot that'd be in New York. Am I lying with that? With the brick wall in the background type deal?
It's nicer looking.
Really?
Sure, yeah. But
that's awesome. What are your favorite more open mics to hit up in San Francisco?
I don't get to do a lot of mics because I work late night hours for my day job. And so I kind of have relied on just doing shows, test out new material for a while now.
You get booked a good amount.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate for that. And yeah, I'm always trying to, optimize new jokes during the actual shows.
For sure, for sure. How do you give great advice toward getting booked in that stuff and being networked in there? Yeah.
Ooh, I'm not a great networker. I feel like people have just been very kind, and I am very grateful for that.
That's good.
But also just asking, I guess.
Asking helps. A lot of comedians are afraid to ask, Angel.
Really?
Yeah, I ask. And I know because I've only been doing it for a year, so certain comedians look at me like, how the hell did you get on these shows already? And I'm like, because I ask. And I felt like I talked to some comedians like, why don't you ask? And I don't want to come off needy. I'm like, oh, so I'm coming off needy? Like, well, I am needy, but I'm like, but you should ask. If you believe in yourself, like, you got a great 5-minute clip on YouTube. Throw it around. You know?
I feel like asking might be my biggest life tip. Like, of all the things I've done, if you were like, how did you get to school here or do this there? It all comes down to asking people.
Closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah.
Closed mouth. I mean, you could, like, there's certain things you shouldn't ask or say because it does kind of ruin it. Like, there's this guy who keeps hitting me up about wanting to invest, but it's so weird because he's like, I only want to invest money if I'm guaranteed to get my money back. I'm like, bro, why do you hit me up about guaranteed to get? What are you talking about? That's not. You should just do your own thing, bro. Like, that sounds stupid.
Right.
It sounds innocent, but to me, it's horribly offensive. Like, what are you asking? You know what I mean? Like, why would I just use my own money? But I do feel like you shouldn't be afraid to ask for opportunities. Some comics are.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna offend someone. I produced events. We don't know. We watched Avatar 2 on our only free time. Like we don't have time to know every little thing that's going on. So if you're gonna hop in my face, whether it be like because you show up to the studio or you're at the same event I am, or you hit me on the DM, I'm gonna take your. I'm gonna give you like a 5-second consideration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like look at your Instagram real quick, or you know what I mean. So I think it totally pays off. Yeah, you don't venture out to the East Bay at all then for the open mic.
No, because I don't have a car, but
which is good. San Francisco is its own world, right? You don't need the car.
Yeah, the function is very close to where I live, so that's a huge bonus.
Is it kind of like the feeling from comics from San Francisco is that they don't need to venture out? Because I'll be honest, Angel, I feel like I don't see a lot of San Francisco comics venturing out. Unless it's down the rail, down to the peninsula or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't even like come to the East Bay.
Yeah. I hear the crowds are a little bit older out here. I don't know.
For sure.
I guess it depends on where you are specifically.
No, that's an accurate thing. They're definitely older. I wouldn't know in terms of feel, because I don't know enough about San Francisco open mics either. But if you had a car, I would say you got to go up to like Pleasant Hill and Livermore, because those crowds are
I can imagine.
Awesome. Well, they're like you said, they're like shows, because there's people who are just there not to do comedy, and they're there at the bar just chilling, and like they're just there to laugh.
Yeah.
It's like amazing, you know what I mean? What show is one of your favorites that you see some of the local producers throwing in the Bay Area? Have you been on Grapes and Giggles yet, or
I have not.
Crazy Funny Asians?
I have done that.
Okay.
A good bit.
That's a good one.
I have a hypothesis that rooms that are more square are better for comedy as opposed to like really long vertical rooms.
Interesting.
I don't know. I think
break this down for us, man.
Yeah, I just feel like there are venues I've done where there might be like 6 people in the audience and it just feels like a very full house. Like the laughter is very
right.
Not validated by science.
No, this
or
is
anything.
this is a podcast topic here. Like, so long, skinny venues, you notice.
I feel like are not as good.
Okay. And it's just a feel, right?
Yeah.
Like a feng shui. I hate to use feng shui because it's very, but feng shui like feel like too much funneled energy.
Yeah.
But if the presentation stage is wider and the audience room is supportive of that space, then it turns out better. You're talking about. I think so, because it probably has to do with acoustics and the way the laugh gets drawn out, right? Because that's why I was talking about this with my friend Vicky. Like, outside shows are great, but they're tough. Because the sound just goes out and it doesn't come back, and you kind of need that boom from the ha ha ha. Like when it booms, oh, that feels good. Like,
yeah, totally.
Right? Like, so is that kind of what you might have toward that, or you don't really have a hypothesis on why though? Or
no, I agree with you. Yeah, I think that the sound effect of actually hearing the laugh come back is super important for everybody.
Got you. I know we talked about before you got here. You were Chinese. Is it true they don't have comedy? No. You know what? Never mind. I just talked about that with my guy Ed Tong. I guess there is comedy in China. There is.
Stand-up is like a new and growing field, and it's funny because there was always like, what's the better equivalent? There was always a form of art that was like people talking on stage making jokes, and I'm trying to think.
But it wasn't comedy.
It wasn't stand-up. Like, because stand-up is more casual, it was more like a sketch.
Okay, like a variety show like type of thing.
Yeah,
right? They have talk shows and stuff, right? So.
Well, or like it would be. This is a pretty old art form, just like 2 guys like telling jokes back and forth, or like doing characters, or doing crazy act outs. I think that was the closest thing to stand-up. But now stand-up is more similar to what we have in the Western world.
It's such a weird art form.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
My parents are huge fans. My dad will send me Chinese stand-up.
Your parents are supportive?
They are.
They didn't trip out when you first.
Well, it's not like I'm quitting my job anytime soon.
So there's okay. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was actually pretty meaningful for me. Like the first time my dad was like, "Oh, I was watching Chinese stand-ups. Like you're like contemporaries," or like he phrased it in a way that, I mean, these guys are huge in China, and the way he made it seem like we were peers was really heartwarming. And he got me 3 stand-up books for Christmas, which I also thought was cute.
Oh, books. Okay, I thought you meant he got you booked. I'm like, he got you booked?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great, too.
What? That is supportive. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think comedy is beneficial for you in that fact, because I don't want to talk in terms of we're all going to make it, you know what I mean? Which we all hope that we do, but I feel like it'll better your life.
I hope so, too.
Dude, you're in the, we don't have to talk about what you did, but in the field that you're in tech, right? You're comfortable saying that, though, right? Okay. Well, just you going on stage and talking to strangers, that's got to help in presentations and meetings, and maybe when you get up and having to talk to people and having jokes there to kind of lighten the mood. Like, it could become a very beneficial thing.
I guess so. I feel like that's a good, I don't know. I wonder if I have become a better presenter because of it.
Totally, dude. Totally. Because like now, before you probably did stand up, if you had to go present something, you might be a little bit nervous. But now that the fact that you've done like crazy open mics and shows, you probably don't even, you probably won't get nervous about confronting certain situations. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, that's nothing. Because once you do something crazy, doing less crazy stuff ain't that crazy.
I do feel like sometimes in meetings now, I don't even contribute real insights. I'm just like cracking jokes, and my boss likes that.
See, that's
why I'm here.
Yeah. That's a good thing. You know, because like he could probably see you like, okay, she has good perspective because she doesn't really get too emotionally involved, and she has a light perspective on it. He might want to put you in charge because of that alone.
Yeah, I don't know. But I will say I did like public speaking related things in school before, and that definitely helped. Like I think I have much less stage fright from doing like Model UN and other things.
What's Model UN?
It's basically where like students come together and simulate the United Nations. You have committees and you debate stuff.
That's
and you
cool.
give speeches.
You were in debate?
I did that in college. And I honestly feel like whether in the workplace or in public speaking or all arenas of life, that activity equipped me the most for all these things.
Really?
Yeah.
I think drama for me too as a kid. Yeah, taking drama, writing scripts and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, because once you do something like that, it's just, you know, I forget what kind of drama class I was told, but like before you do the drama class, they make you like embarrass yourself on stage.
What?
Yeah, like they tell you like, okay, now act like a frog and then stick out your tongue. And so just embarrassing yourself, they said, made everything else easier. Like, so when you did like Hamlet or something, it wasn't like, you didn't feel you were talking funny, you know, because you know, it's kind of weird to talk Shakespearean and all that. You know, and all that. You went to Harvard. Dude, what was that like, bro? Because what is Harvard like, especially as an Asian female in Harvard? What is Harvard predominantly? And I imagine it's pretty prestigious everywhere you're at. Like, what is it like navigating through a system of college like that?
Ooh, there's so many parts of this. So I do think it was the first time that I felt like I belonged somewhere. Because I moved around a lot as a kid. I grew up in a predominantly white town, moved into Boston, which was still segregated. It, you know, like diverse, but it didn't feel like I necessarily belonged there either. And so going to college was the first time where I found a lot of like-minded people. It was
very driven,
pretty
very
diverse,
successful.
Yeah, I think we were all similar in that way, and so felt very at home. There were definitely things that I was not prepared for, though. Like, I kind of thought everyone was like a poor, smart person. I got there.
At Harvard? No, I'm thinking you're gonna get some rich friends, like some future presidents. Like,
there's some very pedigreed people there.
I know what you're saying, yeah, for sure.
But I do feel like the people I gravitated towards the most were people in a similar socioeconomic bracket.
For sure, that's part of networking, finding like-minded people.
Yeah.
That's
It's
who you
just
bond with later in your career life.
It's true. We're just more comfortable around each other. There's like, when you take a spring break trip, there are the kids who fly direct and the kids who transfer twice and stay in host.
Is that a bit?
No.
That sounds like a bit. The transfer twice crew. I mean, it's important when you're taking a trip. Oh, I can save $100 if I just have a 5-hour layover.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'll pay the extra money now.
Oh, I mean now, yeah, but I guess at
when you're
18.
young, yeah, you're just barely you'll do it, because you don't know it. But it's so draining.
Yeah.
To just sit there and know you're going to sit there over a layover. It's wild. Which kind of activities did you do in Harvard? Did you attend parties? Did you not? Did you just attend social groups or stuff like that?
So I did do the Model UN, which was really intense. It was like having a job, honestly. I ran one of our conferences.
After classes, too. You did that, right?
Yeah. And that was like a really big social group as well. We did throw very good parties. We had a great endowment thanks to the university.
Do you still keep in touch with the members?
Oh, yeah. A lot of my best friends were from that.
Wow.
And we got to travel so much for free, too, as kids for those conferences.
Bonding right there.
Yeah.
When you travel as a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I think I appreciated in that group especially that when we did international travel, everyone there spoke multiple languages, was open-minded about seeing a new culture and place. That was really nice.
Do you speak native Mandarin?
I speak Mandarin, not like at a business proficiency, but
got you. But you can get by a little bit.
Definitely. I can hold conversations for a while before my vocabulary starts running out.
Can you write it?
I cannot write. I can type.
Okay. Yeah. My mom made me go to school for Korean. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
So I got to like read and write it. But I sound like a country man. Ginghao-ji? No, yeah, like Korean men just scowl at me when I pronounce Korean words. It's I wish I had Neuralink just to know. You know what's famous on Instagram right now is black people talking very Chinese authentic in China.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like, and it's just like the dialect is down and they have it. And it's always these old Chinese people.
Yeah.
You speak Chinese, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's smart for because it's Chinese based, social media. So it's smart for them to promote that because China is a very difficult language to learn.
Yeah.
There's so many characters. The writing looks alien compared to like Western writing and stuff like that, and the pronunciation is wild. It's probably don't feel what I'm saying as compared to me because you speak natively from it, but.
It is hard to learn, yeah. Reading, hard to learn.
Do you know any other languages or no?
I took French in high school, although I know very little now.
Fuck that, yeah. It was fun, though. It was definitely fun. You took economics in Harvard?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that kind of what you're pursuing in the career? Did it translate? Or?
No, I'm doing tech now, but I mean, I originally thought I was going to do finance, but... Yeah.
Did the tech world care you went to Harvard, or do they just does it apply? Or?
Oh, it helps. It definitely opens doors.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Tell me how. Show me the life of Angel where you get a bigger scoop at Baskin Robbins. Like, tell me, like, what?
That would be great.
Right? Like, what does going to Harvard get you?
I think just
got you this interview. I mean, I'm just saying.
No, and applying for jobs for sure helps. Like I cold email people or just pass in my resume and get interviews from that. That was helpful. Like straight out of school. I feel like that might be where the benefits end. I don't know that.
Really?
It doesn't help me get into like a membership club or anything.
Did you get to keep your email?
We didn't get to keep our email, sadly. Yeah, there was a turnover.
Damn. But that helped during your time in college, I imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe applying for internships or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That is amazing. Wow. Go on to your third year of comedy. What are you looking to get out of it? Do you hope that you're just, what's your mentality? Do you mind? Do you not mind if it blows up? But if it blows up, it's gonna be a hard I gotta quit. It's like we're making the same one.
We would not be making the same at all. I feel like comedy is such a craft that needs to be honed, and while anyone can blow up anytime on social media, I would want to master it better. And so I've kind of given myself 10 years. I want to get really funny.
That's great. Great mindset.
And so this year I feel like it's doing more time for sure, being more comfortable on stage, being a better host, and doing diversifying my style, because so far I'm very dry, and
I love dry comics though. It's the best perspective from a dry comic.
But I do feel like it can be limiting at times, and you need to write tighter jokes. The punches need to come faster. So I want to be higher energy and do more act outs and impressions in this year. Just continuing to find my voice.
Would you consider doing the skits and all that you see other comedians do? Do you feel it doesn't need to do that? Or are you just more into the stand-up life and just performing?
There's so many things, so many different angles to tackle comedy with, so I haven't really, I would like to learn sketch writing. I would like to do improv and all these things, but I think my focus will be on stand-up still.
Gotcha.
And maybe I find that with all these creative endeavors, things are so connected, and it's helpful to get that inspiration from another field or a different approach and bring that into stand-up.
Right. Okay. All right, man. Some inquisitive stuff, man, from Angel JIN, man. Before we get out of here, is there anything you want to plug? Some shows coming up? Anything like that? Almost for an hour now.
Just follow me on Instagram.
Follow her on Instagram, man. I got hooked, man. She has a great looking Instagram, but she's a Harvard graduate. She's at the scenes that I'm at. She's on a lot of shows. She definitely represents the AIPI community for comedians. Thank you for doing that. I definitely respect what you're doing, and I gotta see your stand up soon. I might throw a show where there's a lot of female comedians performing, so maybe we'll have the homie ask you to get on that soon, but it's in Oakland, so I don't know.
I'll be here.
Okay, all right. Angel JIN, everyone, go follow her. Great comedian on the come up, on the rise. Also, very smart lady. Just thank you for coming on the pod today, because I know it's all the way out from San Francisco. It's so hard to get you San Francisco comics in this chair. It's ridiculous, man. But I appreciate you coming on, being networked in. Thank you, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
That was a great pod, man. Go check her out, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Have a great weekend. It's so hot out there. One love.